Right, hey up, it's Steve. What's happening to my hair? It's like sticking out over here. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear, number 87. I can never remember. This week we're looking at From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, Windgrace is here, and Josh Temple's here, never fear. Maddie's here, Harpoon at the ready, and Windgrace is here as well. Huzzah! And we had a message. Josh Jokanapke posted this ages ago, I think when I first set up the stream. So about a week ago, probably. Joshua Kanapke says, this movie was my jam when it was released 7+ times in the theatre and is still a go-to for me today. It's a cool film. It's a cool film. A bit nutty, but a cool film. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the video, whatever. Hit the notification button if you subscribed already. I'm all a dither today. What else? Drop a comment. Come in the live chat, because we're live. We should be live on Rumble. Let's check. Yes, we are. We should be live on, not Rumble, YouTube. We should be live on Rumble. You know, when I get past the ads, I tell you, bloody Rumble and its ads. Getting worse than YouTube. Another ad. Another bloody ad. 2 ads. Right, yes, we're live on Rumble, and we should be live on Twitch. I hope. Yes, we are. Right. Anyway, right, so, later on, I'll upload it to Spotify and Amazon Music podcasts and all that jazz. I'm having some bother with my microphone, so if I go off, just let me know in the chat if the audio goes off, because I've got a dodgy USB connection. I'm still waiting for me. I've got a new lead coming. I've got a little box here. You can see it. There we go. For the XLR lead. But I ain't got the lead yet. So hopefully we'll be able to sort that out. Anyway, right. So, From Dusk Till Dawn. Right, info about this film. Everybody knows about this film. Surely. From 1996, directed by Robert Rodriguez, screenplay by Quentin Tarantino from the original story or concept, whatever, by Robert Kurtzman of Walking Dead fame, isn't it? Is it? That's Robert Kurtzman, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, I think so. It stars Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Ernest Liu, Juliette Lewis. Also has Salma Hayek, Fred Williamson, Cheech Marin in 3 roles. Who else is in it? And I'm trying to think who else is in it. And Michael Parks and many more. What's his face is in it as well? Tom Savini, he's in it as well. Right, what was the budget for it? I don't know. $19 million was the budget for it, and the box office of just under 60 million, so it did all right. It did all right, and it's kind of become a cult film. I don't know what its critical reception was. Let's have a look. Rotten Tomatoes, 63%, which is, slightly average, I suppose, but anyway. It were nominated for a Fangoria. Well, it won a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Actor for George Clooney. MTV Movie Award. George Clooney won for Best Breakthrough Performance. Must be for movies. It's the movie awards. He also won the Saturn Awards for Best Actor. The film won for Best Horror Film. It was also nominated for Best Makeup, Best Director for Robert Rodriguez, Best Supporting Actress for Juliette Lewis, Best Supporting Actor for Harvey Keitel, and Best Writing for Quentin Tarantino, who were also nominated for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actor, and also Stinker's Bad Movie Award. So there you go. That's all the awards it were nominated for. Right, so if you don't know anything about this film, I'll read the back of the box, shall I? I'll read the back, if I can, if it's not too bloody small, because I'm old. Right, we'll read the back of the DVD, Blu-ray thing. I watched this today, I'm thinking, there's a good documentary in the DVD set that I've got, which I can't find. There's a good documentary on it, it's about 2 hours long, about the making of it and about how they use non-union workers and stuff on it, what they call it, whatever. And it's not on this, Typical. Just an audio commentary. And I thought, I'll listen to the audio commentary because it's Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. I thought, that'll be interesting. Boring. I turned it off. We're doing me head in. Anyway, right, off we go. It's non-stop thrills when George Clooney, the American, in brackets, and Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, star as the Gecko Brothers, two dangerous outlaws. I wonder if they're related to the Frog Brothers from Lost Boys. I wonder if that's deliberate. Because the Frog Brothers were vampire killers, weren't they, in the Lost Boys? And these two brothers end up gecko, so they're lizards and amphibians. You know what I mean? I wonder. I don't know. Well, Gecko Brothers, two dangerous outlaws on a wild crime spree after kidnapping a father, Harvey Keitel, Little Fockers. Why did they put that one? Why not put something more, erudite? Anyway. And his two kids, including Juliette Lewis, due date. The Geckos head south to a seedy Mexican bar to hide out in safety. But when they face... Oh, the writing's really tiny. No, I'm super old. But when they face the bar's truly notorious clientele, they're forced to team up with their hostages in order to make it out alive. From Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, the creator of Grindhouse, From Dusk Till Dawn, is explosive action entertainment. Explosive action entertainment. That sounds a bit... put through a translator. Little Fockers, clearly the best of the franchise. I've not seen any of them. Sorry, I've got popcorn stuck in my teeth. I watched the film. I've just finished watching the film a bit ago, and I thought I had some popcorn. I thought I'll eat that. Now I've got it stuck in my teeth. Hey dear. Right, so let's get on with the film, shall we? Let's get it on. As usual, we'll not just be watching it because, I'll get into trouble with YouTube and they'll get blocked and everything, and then my account will be taken away from me. So we'll watch it as in a series of stills. I may play the odd snippet. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, let me mute the bugger and full screen it. Are the subtitles on? Yes, they are. Right, so let's full screen it. And we will get on with the film. I'll make myself titty tiny. And all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm also on Facebook, X and Instagram. Links in the description. As I have links to my 2 books. There's also, I've got a Patreon page, so you can go there and see the stuff I do over on Patreon. There's also a store where you can get T-shirts like this. Friday Night Appointment with Fear T-shirt, which has blood on it. And you can just make it out. There's a vampire lady behind the blood. You can't really tell in this light, but she's there. And other stuff. So, right, with that out of the way, I'll make myself titchy tiny, but first I've got to get rid of them and make myself titchy tiny. Just bear with me while I do that. There I go. And we'll get the film up. Here it comes. Right, here we go. Let's just make sure we're playing. Yes, Dimension Films. Remember that? Are they still going? Dimension. They used to be everywhere in the horror genre, didn't they? Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff. Right, so we begin. We open up on a desert highway. It's somewhere in Texas. This is. So here we go. And this is Michael Parks arriving. He's a Texas Ranger arriving at Benny's World of Liquor. Some, out of the way booze place. And here we're hearing on his radio about the bad guys that they're looking out for. The Gecko Brothers. Sorry, I'm bloody burping already. Anyway, in he goes. This is Michael Parks playing Earl McGraw, and he's played this character in several films. I think he's in 4 films as the same character. He's in this one, which is spoilers, is the last appearance of the character, even though not chronologically. He's appeared in films after this as the same character. But anyway, so that means the other films must be set before this. Anyway, this Death Proof, Planet Terror, which are the 2 Grindhouse films, and Kill Bill. So there we go. Playing the same character. So anyway, in he comes. This is where we meet. I can't remember this character's name. I've forgotten. Sorry, I do apologise. Pete Bottoms. That's it. John Hawkes as Pete Bottoms. The clerk, whatever, shopkeeper. But as he goes in, by the way, I don't know if you noticed. Let's go back. Am I pressing the right button? Am I on the wrong thing? Oh dear. You'll notice in the background, you can see a young lady, and as you can see, there's somebody with her. You can just make it out. And over this side as well, you'll see there's somebody looking in one of the refrigerators. And we're going to find out who they are in a bit. Anyway, he comes up to the counter and he's talking away. He goes into this other area here. He doesn't go there where there's somebody. See there? Somebody there in the refrigerator. He goes to one's over here. He comes back out with I think it's a bottle of beer. Anyway, the chit-chat happens because it's a Quentin Tarantino script. So there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of chit-chat. It's all really well done. But so they're all talking away, and the character Earl McGraw, it's the same in all the other films. You can hardly tell what he says. I know I'm not exactly, I should go to elocution lessons and all that, but in this one you can't tell what he says. Thank God for subtitles. So all they've got to say is all all that. Anyway. So they're talking away, and he's saying he's going to get drunk and all that, and then they're talking about what's happened in the nearest town, and there's been a bank robbery. It's the Gecko brothers. Everybody's after them. They've killed loads of people and taken somebody hostage. It's been on the TV all day. So anyway, but before that, they're talking about a local eatery that's made him ill, and they're saying some nasty things about a particular person. But anyway, as you can see from the subtitles. Anyway, he goes to the toilet. So, by the way, he keeps spitting into this cup. I'm not sure why. I didn't pick up on that one. There we go. Abilene, the bank robber. They're talking about that. He says, if I get my hands on them, I'm going to blow them away and all that stuff. Right, so going to the toilet. So off he goes, and then here he goes. Here he comes. George Clooney arrives. They've got another two hostages. Him and his brother is there with the two girls that they're holding hostage, and they told him to get rid of the cop, and but they think he's buying for time, so to speak. Anyway, so there you go. Anyway, so all this is saying, get rid of him, etc. Oh, and Richie, Quentin Tarantino, Richie Gecko, keeps whispering in his brother Seth's ear, and he's saying that he's giving him signals. We come to learn that Richie is not all there. He's a bit of a psycho. Actually, he's a lot of a psycho, and he sees things that aren't happening. I don't know if you call them hallucinations. He's just deranged, basically. So, saying he's giving him signals, and he's saying, "No, I'm not doing anything." And this way he says, "You asked me to act natural. I'm acting natural." And then he says, "Where are we? There we go. Under the circumstances, he should get an Academy Award for how natural he did." And this actor, curiously enough, a few years later, will get nominated for an Academy Award. Just nominated. Anyway, so right, so this is where the famous line is. There we go. Is hang on.
Everybody be cool. You be cool.
There we go. Right, so there we go. So they go back to their positions, and he comes back out and talking away. He asked for how much for his, because he'd asked for a bottle of bourbon, a bottle of Jack. Excuse me. So it's $6.50. I know this is 1996. I don't know how much a bottle of JD was here back then, but it's a lot more than that now in British pounds. But there we see Richie comes up behind him, blows his brains out, and then pops another couple in, and obviously, and Seth's not happy about this. It comes out, what are you doing? He says, he mouthed the words, help us. And obviously he didn't, because he's a psycho. He's Quentin Tarantino. But anyway, he calls him a liar, and then he shoots him. Doesn't kill him. So he's down on the floor, and he's fiddling with the safe to get the safe open, because he's got a gun in there. They're arguing, saying, tell him to get the car. So anyway, comes out. Oh, hang on. He comes out shooting, and he shoots Richie in the hand. There we go. And then they all start shooting, and all that. So they're all shooting away at each other, missing, apart from he shot him in his hand. And then he tells Richie to shoot the booze behind the counter. And he's got some toilet rolls and some lighter fluid. Luckily, they get out alive. They're the lucky ones in this film, to be completely honest. Those two girls, whoever they are. I don't know, does it say? I haven't checked to see, girls in store. What does it say? It doesn't. They haven't got a... I don't think they have. I don't think they've got a credit. Poor girls. Must have. Surely. They must be here somewhere. Blonde hostage. Oh, yes, here we are. Amy Graham. Oh, that name rings a bell. What have I seen her in? Blonde hostage. Heidi McNeil, red-headed hostage. Amy Graham, what have I seen her in? That name rings a bell. Hey, did. What have I seen her in? From Dusk Till Dawn. I don't know what I've seen her in. Nothing's standing out to me, to be completely honest. Maybe I've just seen the name in something. She's in Jackie Brown, I've seen that, so maybe I saw the name in that. Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me. No, don't know. Just a familiar sounding name. Anyway. Right, where were we? Anyway, shooting away, and then shoots all the booze, and Seth sets the toilet rolls on fire, and there we go, there's his shooting the booze, and flames erupt, and then we get a good fire stunt here, because he comes out in a minute. There's poor Pete. Here we go, comes out with his gun in his hand, on fire, shooting at him, and they shoot him again. And that's a good stunt, a good fire stunt. Because usually when they do fire stunts, they just come out and stagger about a bit and then fall to the floor. And then it cuts, and everybody runs on with a fire blanket or a fire extinguisher, pull them out, don't they? But he's on fire for a good old while, acting as well and shooting. So pretty good. And he's landed in popcorn, and loads of popcorn's popping. In the original script, it was hostess, what they call them, Twinkies, hostess Twinkies thing. But Robert Rodriguez changed it to popcorn because he wanted to hear the popcorn popping. He thought it'd be funny, so there we go. Right, so he grabs a map. That's all they'd gone in for, apparently. Seth had sent Richie in for a map and come back out, and they were going to go, they're going to the border, but obviously things happened. Richie saw something that wasn't there, and it all kicks off. And this is where they're walking away from the store, and it's all blowing up behind them. And there it is. And I seem to remember they get in the making of, in that documentary that it's not on the bloody Blu-ray, all this stuff flew out further than they expected, and it were all landing around them. All this burning hot, whatever it is. Anyway. Right, so they get in their car, which is hang on, I've got it here somewhere. I've got it in here somewhere. Oh, there we go. Just bear with me. Where's the sidebar? I'm finding on my notes. I'm finding my notes. Where's the car? Oh, for God's sake. There we go. The car Seth and Richie drive is a 1968 Mercury Cougar XR7. So there you go. That's what they're driving. Anyway, hope you can hear me. Bloody hope you can hear me, because my microphone still says it's working. I'm going to check again and make sure. Yes, we are still going. Right, so the drive away, there they go. And then we get the credits, the opening credits. And there you go, From Dusk Till Dawn. Right, music by Graham Revel. We see him popping some pills and drinking some JD, and then he's looking through an obviously prosthetic hand. He's got a big hole in his hand. He's taking it well. He says it hurts, but he just wraps some duct tape round it. Anyway, they drive along, and then we cut to I don't know why they've included this bit. We see the boot of the car. We know they've got a hostage, because we're told that they've got a hostage twice. But they've got, for some reason, he decided to show her, in the magic of cinema, in the boot, not in the trunk, of the car. That's poor Gloria, their hostage, the bank teller. And I don't think they needed to show her. We knew they had a hostage, and we're going to find out soon enough that they've got her in the trunk. So I don't know why they bother with that. Anyway. There we go. Edited and directed by Robert Rodriguez. Sometimes he puts shot, cut, and directed by Robert Rodriguez, doesn't he? Because he sometimes does his own director of photography and that, doesn't he? So, but this time he hasn't. He's used the proper words. Right, this is the funniest bit of the film, in my opinion. Where he's ringing the bell. And nobody's coming, because they're at a hotel. He's ringing the bell. And getting more frustrated. He ends up banging the bell, and then the fella comes out. Here he is. Going, oh, God damn you. And I'm just going to play this bit, because it's funny. Oh, for God's sake, what's going on now? I'm having problems. Where's that gone? Unbelievable. Oh, where are we?
What the hell do you want?
What do you think I want, you mean old bastard? I want a fucking room.
Oh dear. So they get the room and head to it. Rich is asking about, do they have cable? Do they have the X-rated channel? Do they have a waterbed? They say, no, it's got 4 walls and a ceiling. That's all we need, which is something that gets echoed shortly. Anyway, so there we go. Oh, and they do the old... I forgot to mute it, didn't I? The famous... He does this. Did it in Pulp Fiction as well, didn't he? Did he do it in Reservoir Dogs as well? People looking in the trunk from the trunk's point of view. Anyway, so where we learn that they've got poor Gloria in there. So they didn't need to show her, did they, in that weird insert thing? I don't know why they did that. So they get her in the room anyway and tell her to sit down and don't talk. And he's checking Richie's wound, and then he's going to go off, phone Carlos. Is it Carlos? I can't remember. And check out the border. I don't know what he means by that. He says it'll be a minute, but they're actually quite away from the border, it seems, because they're driving for quite a while. When they're headed, I don't know. Anyway, right. So he's going to head out, and there we go. I'm going to the border, check things out. So it must be gone a while. It must be gone at least a few hours from what we see. Bet it was a focus group. Don't know. So anyway, this is where we learn they're going to El Rey, which is a mystical place where baddies go, and the people that run it take 30% of your swag. And this Rich is saying, can we negotiate it, down a bit? And he said, no, that is what you pay. If you want to stay in El Rey, you give them 30% of your loot. And that's that. And he starts arguing. He says, no, it's the end of the conversation. But then by the end of the film, he negotiates it down a bit. But anyway. Right. So off he goes. There goes talking to Gloria now and saying, do you want to get out of this alive? Then do as you're told, basically. And don't run, because I've got a gun, and my gun's bullets can run faster than you, etc. So there we go. So off he goes. Poor Gloria. She kind of reminds me of my mate's mum. She does. Anyway. Right, so off he goes and leaves Gloria alone with Richie. If you've seen the film, you know what's going to happen. So there you go. He wants her to go and sit with him on the bed while they watch films. I think it's Spartacus. I think it's Spartacus. I don't know what it is. Some sword and sandals film. Anyway, so there she goes. Right, so we're at a diner now. Emma and Pete's Gravy Train. And this is where we meet the... I forgot the name of the bloody family. Is it Fuller? Is it the Fuller family? Yes, we meet Jacob, Kate and Scott Fuller, who are going... I don't know where they're going, to be honest. I don't know if it tells us. I think, are they going to Mexico? I don't know. But they're going somewhere. In their RV, they've got like a, it's not a Winnebago. Actually, I could tell you what it was. Because it's in my notes. But... Hey, where are we? Where are we? There we go. It's a 1978 Fleetwood Pace Arrow that they're going to be driving in for the rest of the film, to be completely honest. And then the kids, there's Juliette Lewis as Kate. I forgot his name already. I'm horrible. Ernest Liu as Scott. I don't know if they've got the same mother. We learned that his mother was Chinese, and so I don't know. And Kate's older than Scott, and we learned that Scott's mother's passed away. Not passed away. She was killed in a car crash. But I don't know if Scott's mother is Kate's mother. I doubt it. But Kate's mother's never mentioned, so I don't know. Anyway, he says he wants to stay at a motel. Anyway, does Jacob. He says, the beds in the RV, or the beds in the truck, whatever he calls it, are okay, but he just wants to spend one last night in a real bed. So I don't know if it means one last night. Are they going to be spending the rest of their lives in the RV? And Dredge Tiger's here. You. Anyway, so that's what they're going to do. And we also learned that Jacob's an ex-minister, like a priest, pastor, that sort of thing, preacher. But he doesn't do it anymore because he's lost his faith because of what happened to Scott's mother. Anyway, so off he goes, and then she's going to ask him now about, why have you lost your faith and all that? How can you just stop believing in God? And he says he still believes in God and Jesus, but he doesn't have faith in them anymore. So, right. So that's what they're talking about there, and it's all, very good stuff. So she mustn't, because after Jenny's death, so it doesn't say after your mum's death, so I wonder what happened to her mum. Don't know. Anyway, there you go. My faith is gone. Right, so they're going to stay at, it turns out it's the same motel that Seth and Richie are at. Then we see a news report. This is Kelly Preston as this news reporter talking about the crime spree that the Gecko brothers have been on, and saying it with a bit too much glee about all these people dying. They even have a counter in a bit. They're going to show it. This is where we learn Earl McGraw's been killed, and how's it going to show it now? There we go. The counter. It goes up. Look. What happened then? There you go. 16 people have killed in just, I don't know, the last day or whatever. 5 Rangers. Is that I can't bloody see that. And 4 civilians. Anyway, and then she's talking to the FBI chap who's John Saxon. Has he got a name? He's probably said his name. John Saxon, where are you? Where are you, John Saxon? FBI agent Stanley Chase. There he is. This is his only appearance in the film. But anyway, He puts on a good performance. Because it's John Saxon and he's always cool. Right, Seth's back at some point. And here he is. Hang on, see if I can pause it on it. With the big kahuna burgers, which is a Quentin Tarantino thing, isn't it? We saw him in Pulp Fiction. So there we go. I don't think they exist in real life, do they? Big kahuna burgers. It is a made-up brand, isn't it? Anyway. Samuel L. Jackson likes them, doesn't he, in Pulp Fiction? Right, so in he comes. There he is. He's bought some beers and some burgers. And he checks his... Then he notices that Gloria's not there anymore. Where's the woman? And she's in there. And he goes to look in. And we learn that he's killed her. And probably R-worded her as well. We get these little flash images. Oh, just landed on one then, curiously enough. Flash images, like one frame. And they're not too that's probably the most gruesome thing. And he's, done something horrible to her and shot her, looked like 4 times in the head through a pillow. So, killed. Oh, crikey, it's landing on all the bloody flash images. How's it doing that? There you go. Anyway. Right. Look, that's weird, isn't it? Every bloody skip landed on the flash image. Spooky. Yep, made up just like Red Apple cigarettes. Never heard of them. What are they in? What are Red Apple cigarettes in? No idea. Anyway, can't believe it, can Seth. Can't believe what's happened. And Richie's saying, oh, she was like a different person. She was, like a maniac. And he was saying, no, she won't like that, She wouldn't say, what's he say? She wouldn't say shit if she had a mouthful of shit. That's what he said. So, anyway, she's saying, is it my fault? So, anyway, he gets angry with Richie here now. There you go, we learn he's a professional thief. He doesn't kill people that he doesn't have to kill. Oh, right. Are they in all of Tarantino's? I've never noticed, to be honest. But cool. And I think the Royale with cheese is not true as well either, is it? In Paris, they don't call a quarter pounder with cheese or Royale with cheese. I don't know, because I've never been to a McDonald's in Paris. But I've heard it's not true. But anyway. Right, where were we? There's a professional thief. He doesn't kill anybody that don't need killing. He says, I certainly don't. There we go. Doesn't do that, what that says. So he's angry with Richie. So he tells him, behave yourself, basically. Because he loves his brother, but he knows his brother's not all there. So anyway. Right, so they're going to Mexico, but they've got to find another way there. Another way of getting them. They need more hostages, basically, to get them across the border. Right, so here we go. They've arrived as the Fuller family at the Dewdrop Motel. A comfortable rest, it says. Is that how much it is? $16 a night? Is that what it says? I don't know. Anyway, so she's not happy. Is Kate? She says she hopes they have a pool. She says if they've not got a pool, we're going somewhere else. They almost run over Seth. Pardon me. I think he's just making out that he's a drunk. He probably has had a few drinks, but he basically was checking him out, and that's probably sealed their fate now, as that encounter. Anyway, there we see Jacob's on his motel bed asleep, and loud banging on the door. And then we see Scott's playing his guitar through his headphones, so nobody can hear him, or he can't hear anybody. And then we see it's somebody. The person knocking at the door is Richie. There we go. It says from room 11, and he wants to. He says, me and my lady friend want some ice, but we don't have an ice bucket. Could I borrow yours? There you go. I'll bring it right back. And he pulls a weird face like that. So he goes to give him the ice bucket, but it's all a ruse, and Richie's got his gun on him, and then, what is this? And he says, it's called a punch, and he punches him out. And then Richie points his gun at Scott. So, right, so, they ask him, there's something going on there. He says, he's my son. He says, well, how's that happen? You don't look Japanese. Says he doesn't. It looks Chinese. So anyway, so they're gonna use their RV to get across the border. So that's the plan. But then Kate comes in, so they're all pointing guns again, and you see he's checking her out because he's a predator, sexual predator. Is Richie? It said that in the news report. Anyway, so they're going to take them all in the RV to get across the border, and he has a fantasy. There we go. He's imagining she's turning around and asking him to perform a lewd act, and he's going, "Yeah, sure, I will, yeah." But Seth tells him to get the keys and for the RV. Right, so basically we're going to take those hostage and get to the border. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing now. Right. At first, Jacob says he's not going to do it, but they're threatening his kids, so he's got to do it. Right, so there you go. Threatening the kids. Oh, he's got a Precinct 13 T-shirt. Forgot to mention that, which is obviously Assault on Precinct 13. Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez are both big John Carpenter fans, so that's a little nod to John Carpenter, Assault on Precinct 13, which were a John Carpenter film, his second film, I do believe, after Dark Star, 1976. Right, dear. Right, so they're getting into the motorhome and heading to the border. Right, there's some get-to-knowing each other scenes here in the motorhome. There you go. Where are you taking us? Mexico. What's in Mexico? Mexicans. There you go. That's the sort of dialogue that we have. He tells Richie to put his gum shield thing in because he grinds his teeth. But we don't see it again in the film. And I thought, is this going to have anything to do with is it? Are we going to get a call back to it later on in the film? No, we don't. I mean, he takes it out shortly. He don't have it in long. But anyway, it's weird. They're having a talk about his wife dying and all that stuff, and about him, not being a preacher anymore, a minister. So, but that's that. I think this film, to be completely honest, could be like 20 minutes shorter. It's like an hour and 50 minutes nearly, and it could be like 20 minutes shorter. But it's Quentin Tarantino dialogue. So I suppose you've got to keep it all in, haven't you? Because it's all well done. It's all well done. And anyway, right. So they're just saying, "You get us across the border. I'll let you go in the morning." And he promises, and because he's as he says at the end of the film, he's not a good man, but he tries to get. He's a professional thief. He tries to do things. He'll kill people, but when he says he'll promises something, I think he would have let them go. And then he's having another one of his weird things. He's looking at her feet as well. It's Quentin Tarantino, foot fetish. Here he is, watching the feet. Look, Juliette Lewis's feet. It's Quentin Tarantino. He's got a feet fetish, hasn't he? And later on in the film, he's having the time of his life, he is. But anyway, this is where he's asking her about the lewd act. And she doesn't know what he's talking about. Anyway, so right, they get to the border, and they go and hide in the bathroom. There's Kate and Richie and Seth. Scott goes up front with his dad, and then Scott tries to talk his dad into giving him up to the border guards, but he's no, because they've got Kate in there with them. So, but Scott's trying to be the tough guy. But, he stands his ground. Anyway, here we see Cheech Marin in his first time we see him. Why has he got 3 roles? I have no idea. Actually, I think I saw somewhere. Somebody else was supposed to play this border guard, and I can't remember why they didn't. But Cheech Marin were there, so he got the role. But then he's in again later as somebody else, and then again at the end of the film as somebody else. So why is everybody Cheech Marin? I don't know. Anyway, right, so he's putting his foot down saying, "Do as I say, son." Cover me. Anyway, says, who's with you? Says, just my son and I. And I'm thinking, oh, for God's sake, why don't you just say it. Just say, my son, me, and my daughter who's in the bathroom. But anyway, he doesn't. He says, just my son and I. And then they hear a noise, because they're having an argument, Seth and Richie, because Seth tells Richie not to have, not to be like a psycho or something, not to go psycho on him or something like that. And he's saying, what you trying to say? Because obviously he doesn't think he's a lunatic, but maybe it's like the beer fest where they forgot they killed someone and just made him a twin. I have no idea. And the cat's just come down, obviously, because I've started a stream. I haven't seen hiding there of her for ages. Anyway. Right, where were we? So they're having an argument, and they hear a noise, and they said, what was that? I said, oh, there we go. It's just my daughter, she's in the bathroom. So I thought it was just your son and you. Oh, my daughter as well. So he says, okay, we've got to check. Open up, coming aboard. And he's still going on, is Richie, and he ends up knocking him out. Are we going to see that here? There you go, knocks him out. So there we go. Right, they come in to the guards. Oh, Cheech Marin, and he, says, open up, and we see that she's sitting there on the loo. He says, close the door, will you? And obviously they don't bother checking the shower. Anyways, they've done it. They've got through the border, and Seth's happy. And so he's going to drive along and going to hit a road called something or other, and then drive that until you reach a bar called the Titty Twister. And said, you can't miss it. So off they go. Richie wakes up and Seth tells him, you just collapsed. He doesn't tell him he knocked him out. He says, you just collapsed. Anyway. Right, so they're in Mexico. Oh, and his glasses are broken because he hit him. But he says, they broke when you fell. He says, so he's kicking off about that. And he says, it's not a big deal. You can get more glasses. Oh, some Mexicans are not going to have my prescription, are they? And then he says, not a big deal till you make it a big deal, which is kind of what I say to my son all the time. But anyway. Right, they've arrived. Here they are at the Titty Twister. From Dusk Till Dawn. Hey, that's the name of the film. Right, so they arrive. This is where we see Cheech Marin again in a different role. Loads of bikers riding around, by the way. And this is where he does his famous speech about cats. Different sorts of cats that they've got there. And, because it's obviously a cat thing. Because somebody turns into a kind of a cat creature later on. A bit, maybe. Or is it a rat? Or is it a dog? I don't know. It's Tom Savini. Anyway. So they're going to go in and wait for Carlos. Well, Carlos is going to arrive at dawn. Or before dawn, he said. So they're going to go in, have a drink, something to eat, relax. Because they think it's just another place. I mean, it doesn't look like just another place, does it? It looks a bit of a dive and a bit of a hive of scum and villainy, so to speak, doesn't it? But anyway, okay, hard drinkers, let's drink hard. By the way, he says things like that, I think 3 times. Earlier on, he said, okay, ramblers, let's ramble. So, okay, hard drinkers, let's drink hard. And he says it again later on. What does he say? Something to do, I can't remember. We might get to it. Anyway, so in the go, he's still talking about cats for some reason, and you get a cat for a penny. I don't understand. Right, so he tries to stop Seth from going in, and he punches him, breaks his finger, breaks his nose, then Richie kicks him a bit. Anyway, in the go, I'm going to have to be careful here now because there's a bit of nudity. I know there is there in art, but there's actually some nudity. Because there's topless ladies dancing, so I'm going to have to be careful here, aren't I? I bet every frame it lands on one. I bet it bloody does. There's one that's at a distance, I think we're safe. There's the band playing. I think this might be Robert Rodriguez's band, but I don't know if any of these is Robert Rodriguez. It's in my notes, but I can't be bothered looking for it. Anyway, so there we go. See scantily clad girls dancing, lots of bikers and truckers, because it's a biker and trucker place. There they are, more nudie stuff. Right, so going to the bar, wants a drink. This is where we meet Danny Trejo. I don't know, what does EFAB mean? I don't know. I've heard of it, but I can't think where I've heard of it. Anyway, he wants a drink. I said this might be there. He's asking for whiskey from Danny Trejo, but he won't serve him. He says this place is for drinkers, bikers and truckers. And they're gonna kick off. Oh, every frame a boob. All right. I'm sure I've heard. I'm probably thinking of EFAP. Yeah, EFAP. Every frame a pause. Yes, that's probably what I'm thinking of. That's probably what when I said I know it from somewhere. Anyway, Ande pendejo. But troubles are brewing. But Jacob intercedes and says, I drive that big RV. And basically he needs a truck driver's license to drive it. So technically he's a trucker. So they're in on a technicality, basically. So, right, fine. There you go, showing him his license. Welcome to the Titty Twister. So, right, more dancing, more singing, and all that stuff. Oh, that were close, wasn't it? She's got a well-placed finger there. Tequila, obviously. Hey, ooh. So you surf. This is a bit I don't get. I mean, I know I've not been to Mexico or America, but you serve food here, Jose, best in Mexico. And he says, I doubt that. He says, we're going to go over to that table over there, send a waitress over for it to take our order. I thought, that's the sort of place that you wouldn't think I'd have waitresses, would you? Is this Quentin Tarantino thinking that because, I don't know, it's probably not been to that sort of a dive in real life, that they'd have waitresses. Sort of place where you go to the bar and say, do you do cheeseburgers or whatever? Yeah, well, okay, I'll have one. Let me know when it's ready. It's that sort of place, isn't it? They don't have waitresses. Anyway, so that's what he says. Right, so, hey, blimey. Blimey. And then we see Tom Savini there playing with his whip. And it's everybody's having a nice time. Seth kicks that fella out of the way, and so they take the table. There we see Tom Savini has sex machine. He steals this chap's drink. This fella there that's got a bottle. This fella's I forgot his bloody name now. Not Robert Kurtzman. The other fella. I have to look it up now. It's the K from KNB, the effects company, practical effects company. Is it Kirkman? Don't sound right. Just checking. Come on, you're in here somewhere. Howard Berger was a trucker in it. I don't know what Howard Berger looks like. Where is he? Oh, no. That's who it is. Is it? Not Greg. Oh, is that Greg Nicotero? Is it Greg Nicotero I'm thinking of? I think it is. I think it's Greg Nicotero. I think it is, yes. It's Greg Nicotero. That's who it is. And Josh Temple says, all the places like that I've been to had waitresses. Like I said, I've not been to America. So over the year, we don't really have waitresses in pubs or bars or anything like that. Not the ones I've been to anyway. And I've been to some rough holes in my time. Anyway. But they're not in America. They're in Mexico. So, there's another thing as well. What is it now? It's at the end. At the end where they're in Mexico, but he says, I've got beer, I've got Mexican and domestic. And I thought, well, surely a Mexican wouldn't say that. A Mexican would say, I've got Mexican beer or American beer. You wouldn't say domestic, would you, if you're Mexican? But anyway. Anyway, whatever. He's going to use his little whip to steal that. There you go, like that, off Greg Nicotero. And so there we go. All fun and games. Oh, then he gets his knife out, his flick knife, but then we see he's got his crotch gun. You think, how's that supposed to work? But I saw an example, not an example, somebody explaining it, and saying that you're saying that, well, how does it work? Because these barrels are not connected to the gun. You know, it's supposed to look like something, isn't it? But somebody was saying it could be belt fed. I thought, what? Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, he uses it later. Best gun ever, Josh says. Oh dear. Right, so look what they're up to. Hey, who that was close. So they're all having drinks. Whiskey or whatever. I can't remember what they got. And knocking them back and hitting the glass down on the table. There we go. They're doing all that. So right, but we're getting ready for this dancer. This is Fred Williamson. I don't know the name of the character. I've forgotten. Frost. He's called, yes, Fred Williamson. He's called Frost. A Vietnam vet, and I'm guessing a truck driver. I don't think he's a biker. I think he's a truck driver. Gets his cigar lit by. For Pete's sake. Gets his cigar lit by this young lady. But we're waiting for the arrival of Santanico Pandemonium. But they're still talking away, and he's getting a bit. He's agitated, he's Seth, because of what happened at the bar, and Jacob is wanting to basically go and kill somebody or hit somebody, but Jacob talks him down, and they have a drink together. Right, here we go. Santanico Pandemonium's coming. It's basically the bit we've all been waiting for. This is where Salma Hayek arrives. Here she is, getting ready to do her dance, and I don't know what had happened. You know, if things don't happen as they happen in this film, what would happen? Every other night. I don't know, but anyway, here she is dancing away. All right, we see that when we first see her. Never mind. We see that she's just got a cloak on. When she takes it off, she's got a big snake around her, which is an albino python or something. So she dances about with that. And in real life, Salma Hayek was actually terrified of snakes. She had a mortal fear of snakes, and she had to go to therapy because she didn't want to give up on the role. She didn't want to say, I can't do this role. So she went to therapy for a while to get over her fear of snakes. So there we go. So that's dedication, isn't it? Anyway, and they didn't have choreography for her while she had the snake on, because she said, well, when you've got this big heavy snake on, you can't really do a lot. So she just gives it all that for a bit while she's got the snake on her. There we go. So here she is dancing away to get rid of the snake in a minute. Somebody takes the snake off her. And she works her way down the tables in a minute when she gets rid of the snake. And she kind of got her eye on Richie for some reason. I don't know why. But here she goes. She kind of makes a beeline for him. Maybe, she's just chosen him. I don't know. But this is Quentin Tarantino's dream come true. She takes his beer and pours it down. And there we go. He's in hog's heaven, isn't he, Quentin Tarantino, right now? Bless him. But anyway, so that's she does all that. Oh, she has a drink as well and spits it into his mouth, which I'm sure that's part of a spell or something like that. I think it's basically she's chosen him, or something like that. Anyway, so she carries on dancing, and then it ends, and they're all impressed and saying, yoo-hoo! Yes, luckiest man in the world. Anyway. But then she looks over and sees Cheech Marin's back in. I don't know the name of his character is. Does it say? Cheech Marin. What it's called? It's Chet. His first name, Chet Cat. But the other word for cat. Anyway. Chet, we'll call him. He's come back in and he's pointing out, these guys that broke my nose and my finger and all that stuff, and the other one kicked me while I were down. So, it's gonna hit the fan. So it's all kicking off now. So a big gunfight ensues. There we go, they're shooting people and killing people. But then, here we go, hang on. Oh, they shoot him as well. They're saying, everybody sit down and all that. But here we go. She's seeing, we see the blood's coming from his wound on his hand. Oh, there's also another thing as well. Because the stab, Richie stabs Danny Trejo repeatedly, and then takes the knife out and puts it in the table or whatever. But we see it's not red. It hasn't got red blood on it. That's a clue. But he's got red blood and it's dripping and she's freaking out. And actually, they repeat something that happened earlier on in the film, which I forgot to mention. When Richie were alone in the room with Gloria and they were looking at her, you get kind of a rumbly sound, as though, I don't know, as though something's happening. I think it's supposed to signify that an urge is coming on. And the same thing happens here. When she sees the blood dripping, we hear that rumbly sound again. So anyway, so here we go. Now we see the first of many not great CGI morphs, where she turns into a vampire, some sort of reptilian vampire. There's vampires of all sorts in this. But anyway, so there we go. She jumps on Richie and bites him on the neck. So there's all blood and spraying. They were saying, let's get on a good thing, that the vampires, now I can say the vampires because we've just seen one, the vampires in this don't have red blood, they have green blood, and they're saying that they did that to get past the MPA, so it just have an R rating. But there's still lots of human blood, like his. There we go, lots of human blood. It's biting on him, it's all spraying out everywhere. So I don't understand why, but anyway, maybe they're only allowed a certain amount of red blood. The rest of it's got to be green. Otherwise, they might have got an NC-17 rating or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, I see all the others. All the other vampires are popping back up, and so it's all going to kick off. There he goes. We got his gun comes out. There we go. Shoots Danny Trejo. Obviously, he's not dead yet. So a big vampire fight happens now. All the vampires are really ugly. For some reason, the band are now playing body parts. For some reason. I don't know why. The band are vampires as well. They've changed their instruments. They're now body parts for no reason. So we get a big bar brawl. There we go. The human customers, mostly truckers, I imagine, and some bikers, are basically getting slaughtered. Does this happen every night then? Does it just all kick off at a certain point? Or on a normal night, do they just lure people into back rooms and stuff with the dancers and that, and they just disappear? Is that what normally happens? Is this unusual? I don't know. I imagine it is. Anyway, so they're hiding away. That's Chet. He's a vampire as well. He gets Scott hits him over the head with a bottle, and he knocks him out, throws him across. But then she shoves a cross in his mouth. She takes that off and shoves it in his mouth, and it makes him melt. They're going to show it. There we go. It just starts melting. I think it's a mixture of a CGI. They do a lot of CGI morphs, but there's a lot of good practical effects, and I think this is a mixture of it. Looks like it, doesn't it? So there he goes. So he's dead. There we go. So we know that crosses work on them. Anyway, Frost, Fred Williamson, is going to take care of 4 of the dancing lady vampires. He's turned this table upside down, and he's basically just chucking women on them like that. And then we see the aftermath. And they all set on fire. Is it this one? Oh no, it's in a bit. she's popped up again as Salma Hayek. And he shoots her. Obviously, she's not dead yet. And she punches him. She gets up and punches him. Right. Sex Machine's going to take on some vampires now. He does some dancing about and high kicks and stuff. There we go. Leaping from pool table to pool table. Fighting the dancers. And he's doing some backflips. And he takes that one out. And takes some others out as well. Right. He's got to deal with Danny Trejo next. There we go. Yes, he got him with the he tripped him up with his whip and then stabs him with the pool cue. That's what he does. Yes, of course. And this is where we see that the turn on fire and then kind of morph, melt. See, the eyeballs. The eyeballs come out and go into the pockets. Look, have you noticed? There you go. Oh dear. There we go. Kind of Buffy style. Buffy were after this though, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Can't remember when the original Buffy film came out. Round about the same time, I think, wasn't it? I can't really remember. Right, so there she goes. Salma's back. Santanico Pandemonium. Why did they pick that name? I've no idea. Is it in the? Is it in my notes? Let's have a look. Sure, I've seen it somewhere about Santanico Pandemonium. Dear. Here we go. Originally, Santanico Pandemonium was called Blonde Death. Quentin Tarantino decided to go for a Latino-Mexican star, so he used Salma Hayek after seeing her in Desperado. What do you mean Quentin Tarantino decided to? Robert Rodriguez directed this. Quentin Tarantino was just a writer and an actor in it. It wasn't even his original idea. He was hired to write the script. Anyway, the name Santanico Pandemonium came from the title of a gory Mexican horror movie, Santanico Pandemonium, from 1975, that Tarantino had seen on the shelves of the video store in which he worked. So there we go. Anyway, so here she is. She's got him down. She says she's going to make him her slave. And she's going to, make him do all these horrible things and all that stuff. He's like going, yeah, okay, as he's putting more bullets in his gun. And we know that bullets won't kill her. Unless they do something special to him, as we'll see later on. But anyway, this is where she's saying, you do everything I command. And she's going to call him Spud. I thought she said Spot. But anyway, never mind. But anyway, welcome to slavery, she says. But then he shoots this chandelier and must roll out of the way really quickly because he shoots it. There we go. And we see it come down and just lands on her and kills her. I don't know why that kills her. Is it leaded iron like from Life Force? Maybe so. Because she bursts into flames and morph melts. CGI morph melts. So that's the end of her. More's the pity. Anyway. Right. So they've kind of having a bit of a breather now. Not totally. There are still vampires about, but it's calming down a little bit. It's slowing down is the action a bit now. But anyway, they've got to deal with this one, and this one's a bit peculiar. Frost punches him and rips out his heart. There we go. And he's got his heart in his hand. He's going to show it. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. He's got his heart in his hand, but it's still pumping. So obviously vampire hearts work independently of vampire bodies because it's still pumping. And he keeps getting up. So they're trying to beat him up, but nothing's working because he's got his heart in his hand and it's still pumping. But then he's still getting up, look. But then there we go. Sex Machine arrives and finds a pencil, there we go, and stabs the heart with the pencil, and then he dies. And steady on. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it? Some more lady vampires arrive. I'm trying to think what happens here. I can't remember. We'll see. Anyway, they're getting ready to have a fight. There they are. They're heading towards them in some sort of Mexican standoff. What happens? Oh, they just fight him. They just fight him. That's it. Yeah. Gets staked and stuff like that. They're all dealt with. Oh, they all burst into flames like that. In some, not great compositing, but it's fine. It's fine. There we go. More melty CG morphing. It was the thing, wasn't it, at the time? 1996, like I said, but 3 years after Jurassic Park. Everybody were using CG effects. Anyway. So that's them dealt with. I said, now let's kill the band. But the band just decide to blow themselves up. They must think they're drummers from Spinal Tap. So they say, thank you, everybody, and good night. And blow themselves up. For some reason. And I don't know why. Anyway, anywho, let's make sure we're still going. Make sure we're still going. Yeah, we are. We are. Right, so that's the band. That's the end of the band. Now we're having a breather, and he can go and see to Richie. He just takes this top half of this body. Is this supposed to be a vampire or just a person that they've killed? I don't know. But he just picks him up and just throws him to one side, No respect. Anyway, so he's saying sorry and all that. And says, I love you, Richie. Meanwhile, they're trying to get the door open, but for some reason they can't. And he says, I love you, Richie. And then we hear Richie say, I love you too, Seth. And then he opens his eyes and... there we go. And he turns into Frankenstein's monster. That's a terrible... I don't know why they've picked this for him. There you go. It looks like bloody Frankenstein, doesn't it? I mean, Quentin Tarantino's not the best-looking man in the world, is he, to start with? And somehow they've made him look uglier. But they're going to kill him, and then but he's telling them, the others, Frost and Sex Machine, touch my brother with that steak and I'll shove it up your ass and all that stuff. But then he decides you've got to hold him down and I'll deal with him myself. And then there's another scene. Where is it? Are we going to see it now? There's another bit here. There we go. It says hold him down. And then for some reason, hang on, we're going to see it. Right. His face changes. Or is it this bit? No, it's not that bit. It's before that. So let me go back a bit. You see, he's got, looks like Frankenstein there. It looks horrible. But then, there you go. He changes there just instantly to look like Quentin Tarantino again, but with pointy teeth and weird eyes. Like that. And then, bang, next bit. Hang on. There you go. It's back to that again. Looks like something from Evil Dead or something, doesn't it? But it looks like Evil Ash from Evil Dead. When in Evil Dead 2, when it takes over him, kind of looks like Ash, doesn't it, from Evil Dead 2? Anyway. So he stakes his own brother. There we go. And he bursts into flames as they're holding him. Hang on. There you go. Another morph. And... obviously, there mustn't be hot flames. But anyway, it melts away and they're just left holding his arms. And there's his skull. Speaking of skulls, I found a skull in the garden today, a bird skull. I don't know what sort of bird, but I brought it in. I washed it up a bit and it's on the kitchen windowsill. But I told Aidan, he says, get rid of it. Oh, why? Has it got all flesh on it? I says, no, it hasn't. It's just a bird skull. Anyway, could that be a less realistic looking hand? It looks like it was made of, they bought it from, Asda or whatever. That's like Walmart from the Halloween aisle. Anyway, right. So they're having a breather, and she says she's sorry and all that, and he say, no, if you're up to you, you'd have fed them to those vampires and stuff. But anyway, we've got to find a way to get out of this. And then they hear this noise outside. And he's saying, thought it were birds. And somehow Seth, why did I say Geth? Seth knows that the bats, maybe he's just put two and two together, vampires, bats, I don't know, but he says the bats. And then I think we're going to get a shot of them in a minute, because they're preparing for all the bats coming, because they're thinking, it's vampires are coming. And they're going to show it. We see this fella. This fella comes crawling up as they're all paying attention to the noise of the bats. This fella comes crawling up to Kate, and he's obviously, as we see him, he must be an amputee or something. Is it going to show him? There we go. He must be an amputee because he's no legs. And he nearly bites her, but Sex Machine saves her, and then some others come as well. So they've got to take out the humans that are just turning into vampires, those humans that are being bitten and are turning into vampires. They've got to deal with those. So Kate and Sex Machine do that. He burns somebody. There's Frost. There he is. And she struggles for some reason, because he kind of looks peaceful. She's thinking, he might not be a vampire, but she's struggling to stake him. Look, she's conflicted, but then he turns. Hang on, is it going to show it? She's conflicted, but then he looks and he's having fun with his. There you go. He turns, and so she stabs him. What? You? Oh, bloody cat. And everything's okay. But as she doesn't look, Sex Machine gets bitten on the arm by one of the vampires, and I think the cat wants to go out now, so I'm going to have to go let the cat out. Unbelievable. Bear with me. Do you want to go out? I'm back. Right. I hope you can still hear me, by the way. Check my microphone. Yes, it's still on. Hey, where were we? He's been bitten. Yes, there we see. He's been bitten. And he does the old, like his zombie films. There's always somebody that hides that they're being bitten, and he does the same. Why? Don't know. He puts his leather jacket on, and which I've not wore for the last few Friday Night Appointment with Fears. I usually wear my leather jacket, don't I? As my uniform. But anyway. Right, so there you go. He's put his leather jacket on to hide his wound. Right, so they've got to work out what to do. And this is where Seth decides that Jacob is their number one weapon, because he's a preacher, even though he's lost his faith. And, he says it's up to you to save us, because you can turn tap water into holy water and all that. Bless all the things and, and all that stuff. So, right, so they've got to work out what they're going to do to kill the vampires. And they find out, obviously staking them works, and crosses work. What else? And Frost says that, they come apart real easily. You can punch through them real easily. They're not strong. The bodies aren't strong. They can pull them apart and stuff. But there you go. They're mushier. That's what he says. So, anyway. But he's talking Jacob into being a mean MF warrior of God or something like that. But he punches Seth, because he thinks he's taunting him. But anyway, so this is where he talks him into being. We've got a mean, whatever, servant of God. That's it. Right. Anyway, while they're not looking though, you can see something weird's going on with Sex Machine. he's starting to turn, and so there's a little bit of a comedy segment here, I suppose. He's telling them now. Frost is going to talk all about his experiences in Nam. He survived for hours with all of his squad around him that had died in an attack, and he'd lie still for hours until he could escape and all that. And he's talking about all that. But while he's doing that, in a minute, there he goes. Sex Machine realises he's starting to change in like a little bit of a comedy segment. I've seen it in something else, but I can't remember what. Is it? What's that Roman Polanski one about vampires? Fearless Vampire Killers. There's somebody in that have a similar scene to this. He's hearing voices, by the way. He's hearing, I think it's Salma Hayek's voice or something, saying, "Kill them, Sex Machine, kill them." And then he realises he's got, there we go, is it this one? He realises he's got pointy teeth all of a sudden. And then his hands start changing as well. There we go, CG morph. So he's like slowly, it's not like the others. All the others like just changed, didn't they, and became crazed vampires. It's happening slowly with Sex Machine for some reason. Maybe because it's Tom Savini. Anyway. I suppose it's humorous. Anyway, but he sneaks up as he's telling his story. Is Frost. There we see Sex Machine's hands appear, and he bites Frost. There you go. And they're trying to fight off Sex Machine, and then Sex Machine bites Jacob. Oh no! There you go. He's gonna fight Sex Machine. Or he thinks he is, but it turns round, and what does he do? I can't remember what he does. Excuse me. Punches off Sex Machine's. Punches Sex Machine, and he goes flying. Yes, that's it. Through the door. They'd barred the door. I forgot about this bit. They'd barred the door so the vampire bats couldn't get in or whatever. But he punches him and goes through the door, so now all the vampire bats can come in. But then Frost has turned into a weird vampire. Were they going for the Fright Night look? I forgot her name. The girl in Fright Night, I forgot her name. They're going for that look, but it just looks stupid because his mouth's there, but then he's got these like teeth here at the side, but it looks stupid, doesn't it? Anyway, he's turned into a vampire as well. What the bloody hell? Things falling. So they've got to run away from all these bats. Look, they're all heading down they get through this door, and they're running down the corridor. They end up in this storeroom. Jacob's still in the bar, by the way. He's behind the bar, hiding, tending to his wounds, and he finds a baseball bat and a shotgun. There you go. So he makes a cross with a shotgun. So he's going to work his way. He's going to try and escape. And here's all the bats that have turned into vampire people, I suppose. So he's going to make his way. And he's shooting them and fending them off with a cross. And he gets down the corridor and says, open the door so they let him in. Right, so now what they've got to do, he says, in 30 minutes they're going to break in here. And in under an hour I'm going to turn into a vampire. I'm dead already. So we've got to find out what we can use in here. To find all these boxes and crates and stuff, and they're thinking this is all the stuff from the truckers that they've lured in there over the years. So they find some weird stuff. Anyway, so he's going to be blessing things and all that stuff. So looking for weapons. What she found? Sunglasses. I don't know what good they're going to be. Does she use them? I don't know. Seth's making a stake because he finds like a pneumatic drill thing, and he sticks a stake on it. They're filling condoms up with water, cloudy water, to let it run for a bit. And he's going to bless that water and turn it into holy water. There's Seth making his penetrator, his stabbing thing. She finds a coffin with a cross on it, and she opens it up, and it's got a pump-action crossbow, of all things. Is that a thing? Josh Temple, is there such a thing as a pump-action crossbow? Because that's what she's doing, look. I don't know. I doubt it. I suppose it's feasible, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, look, they're coming now. We're all the vampires. Ooh, cracky. And then he's blessing the water. Oh, my, because Scott's found a super soaker sort of thing. He's found that. So they're blessing the water in that and in the condoms that they've got as well. So they've got holy water. And it showed them etching crosses into the ends of bullets. So they've got cross bullets, holy bullets now. Maybe he blessed the bullets as well, I don't know. But there are a few out there now, but not a thing for hunting. Unbelievable. Anyway, well, before it all kicks off, he wants them to promise that when he turns into a vampire, they'll kill him. And Seth says, "Yeah, I'll do it, no problem." But he says he wants a promise from his 2 kids, and they say, "I can't do that." And they say, "Yes, I promise." But he says, "I don't believe you. I want you to promise and swear on the Bible and all that stuff." And he threatens to kill himself there and then if they don't promise, and they do. So anyway, they jam up bad, and that's dangerous. I imagine it is. Getting splinters. Anyway. Right, so here we go. That is his threatening to kill himself. Says, "Okay, I promise I'll kill you." Anyway, so out they go, fighting more vampires, and they go kill them all. Look. It's fine. Bang, looks more shooting and fire and stuff like that. And he's there with his shotgun, and she's using her crossbow, and he's using his stabby thing. And here's a sex machine, still up to his shenanigans. But Seth's got his whip, and he gets the whip round Sex Machine's neck and yanks his head off in a minute. He's going to do it now. Yep, yanks his head off, but that's not the end of Sex Machine, as we'll see. I've had riderless arrows explode on a compound bow, and that can kill you. Okie dokie. Anywho, where were we? I've never fired anything. I've never fired a bow or a crossbow. Ada's fired a crossbow. At a convention, they had a crossbow range. Or anything. I've never fired a real gun. I fired like a BB gun. That don't count, does it? No, I haven't. I fired an air rifle. That's it. So there you go. I have no experience with death and weapons. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, whatever. Right, he boots Sex Machine's head, and he's still alive. Look, he's still. His eyes are still. There you go. He's still alive, and she shoots him with the crossbow. There we go. But his body's not dead. They're all still fighting them. There you go. That's Sex Machine's body. This comes out of him. See if it shows it. There we go. And I don't know what it's supposed to be. Is it like a dog, cat, rat, whatever? Is it just it's just a creature, isn't it? It's just a creature. So it's on Seth and trying to get him, and it's like overpowering him. I don't know why this doesn't happen to the others. I don't know, but Sex Machine's kind of a special vampire, it seems. Anyway, Kate shoots it with the crossbow. There we go. Shoots it with the crossbow. It sets on fire, and then he shoots it with a gun. It must be one of the bullets that's got a cross in it, because then he explodes. So that's the end of Sex Machine. Now what's happening? There's still him to deal with, isn't there, with his stupid... I mean, this is not great makeup, is it, really? Better than I could do, but I'm not getting paid the big bucks, am I? And he stabs him, there we go, through his gut with the shotgun. So he starts shooting vampires through frost. There you go. I can't remember what he does next. Yes, that's it. He doesn't do anything. He goes to hit him, but then he just dies. I don't know why. He just melts. So he's going, oh! So maybe he just scared him to death. I've no idea. He just does a melty thing. It's weird. He's squirting with his super soaker and setting him on fire. But then he's changed as Jacob's changed to a vampire, and he kind of looks... I'm trying to think. He looks like something I've seen or somebody. I can't think. It doesn't look like Harvey Keitel anymore, does he? I'm trying to think who he looks like. It reminded me of something. I can't think what. Anyway, so he's changed into a vampire, and he's gone. Want a slow change like we saw with Sex Machine. He just changed, and bang, he's evil now, and goes and bites his son. So anyway, and he throws one of the condoms with holy water in, and that melts half of his face. And then he shoots his dad, and then she's like, "Oh my God!" But then all the other vampires descend on Scott and start biting him, and there you go. And he's saying, "Kill me, Kate, kill me," and she says, "I can't." There we go, "Kill me, Kate," and she says, "I can't." Hang on. There you go. She goes, "I can't," and then instantly, she just says, she thinks, "Well, all right, fair enough, I can." And she shoots him, and he explodes. So I'm guessing that were another one of the holy bullets with a cross on it. I don't know, but anyway. Right, so there's only them two left now, isn't there? So they're getting surrounded by vampires, and then we notice that there's a beam of light coming through the wall. There we go. So the sun's come up. So, Fright Night again in the cellar. It's like that, isn't it? So it says, shoot the wall. There they go, shoot more holes. So they shoot more holes. So the vampires can't go near them because they can't. The sunlight burns them. But anyway, then somebody starts knocking on the door. In a minute. Anyone's getting burnt. Hang on, I'm going too far. There we go. Somebody starts knocking on the door, and they say, "I'm looking for Seth Gecko," and it's Carlos, and so Seth says, "Carlos, kick in the door." So he kicks it. The door gets shot in. We see gunshot holes appear. Then they kick the door in, and then they all start blowing up to the vampires because of the sunlight that's coming in. And then we see he's back again. It's Cheech Marin, this time as Carlos with his two henchmen. And they go running out. Then all the vampires explode, and the building explodes in flames for some reason. And they all go running out. All right, and then hang on. I missed it, didn't I? Let's go back again. Is it going to show it? Oh, for God's sake. The sun starts reflecting on the disco ball. It's going to show it. And then like that on the disco ball. And they all start, there we go. And then they all start exploding to the vampires. It's crackers, it's bonkers. Anyway, so it's all blown up, and then he punches Carlos, and he says, "Why did you tell us to meet you here?" And he says, "Well, one place is as good as another." And he says, "Have you ever been here before?" I says, "No, I've driven past it, and it looks like a sleazy place where there's no cops." And I thought, it'll be all right. There you go. And it's open from dusk till dawn. So anyway, he says, "You picked this place. out of a hat. My brother's dead. Her entire family's dead. Hey. It said something like, I didn't know there'd be psychos. I said, they look like psychos. They were vampires. Psychos don't explode when sunlight hits them. Oh dear. Anyway, so this is where he negotiates the 30% now and gets it down to 25. Anyway. Right, so he tells Kate to go get the suitcase of money from the RV. That's what he says. I've cold beers, I've got Mexican and domestic. But a Mexican wouldn't say that, would he? You wouldn't think so anyway. I don't know. I'm not Mexican or American. I've got cold beer. Anyway, so he gives him his 25% of money. And he gives some to Kate as well. He gives her some. I don't know how much they've taken. It must have been a big heist. I don't know, but he gives her some money as well. And she says, "Seth, do you want some company?" And obviously he says, "No." He said, she wouldn't fit in where he's going. Basically, he doesn't say that, but that's what he's getting. He says, "Well, we'll see if the subtitles come up." Because she asks if you want company. Hang on. And then he says, there you go. That's what he says to her. That's what he says to her. So off he goes in that car. I think it's a Porsche, isn't it? It's in my list. It's in my list of interesting notes. See if I can find it. Where are we? By the way, according to the DVD featurettes, which are not on the bloody Blu-ray, when Sex Machine is throwing around the other characters, Tom Savini actually punched many of the actors, including George Clooney. It says green blood was used for the vampires to get the movie past the censors, but yet we still see loads of red blood. So I don't get it. Hang on, it's... where are they? See, they've disappeared from there now. The car Seth drives away at the end. 1990 Porsche 911 Carrera Cabrio. There we go. Anyway. Right, so he drives away. She heads back to the RV, so she's going to drive away in that. And then she drives away in the RV. We see it coming around there. And we cut to a matte painting. These trucks are obviously a matte painting on the back of the Titty Twister. Which kind of looks, that writing kind of looks like a bit of Mexican, right? Like Yitzel or something like that. We pan back and we see what's really behind the bar. It turns out it's like an Aztec, Mayan, whatever, Mesoamerican, pre-Columbian pyramid. So obviously these vampires have been around, for a long time. And is it suggesting that, Aztec and all that blood ceremonies, where they sacrifice people at the tops of pyramids and that, didn't they? Rip their hearts out. Were all that vampires? I don't know. Were it sacrifices to vampires? I don't know. But anyway, so there we go. Anyway, that's the end of From Dusk Till Dawn. There we go. I'll leave it on that because that's a good picture. A good matte painting. I like it. And there we see a skull there. On that, whatever that is. So there we go, that's the end. And then there were more sequels after this, which I've not seen. I don't think so. I don't think I've seen the sequels. No, I haven't. And I've not seen the TV show either. My son's seen it. He really likes the TV series, but I've not seen that one. But apparently it's good. But anyway, but that's the end of From Dusk Till Dawn. A good film. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. It's one of these films that I think, I really like that film, and then I've watched it now, and I thought it's not as good as I thought. But I do enjoy it. It is, it's worth a watch. The second one is Robert Patrick. I've definitely not seen it. But anyway, so there we go. Press the wrong button again. That's the end of From Dusk Till Dawn. A cool film, and George Clooney plays a really good part in it. I think he does anyway. And I saw somewhere, it might have been in that trivia on IMDb, that because of his performance in From Dusk Till Dawn, that got him the Batman role in Batman and Robin. He was a terrible Batman. Anyway, so there we go. We'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. So, give From Dusk Till Dawn a whirl. It's a lot of fun. The effects, the practical effects are really good. I think they are, anyway, from KMB. They're really good, but the CG in it, it's of its time, I suppose. It's of its time. So, right, so that's it. So, what's coming up next? On Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, next week, we're doing Who Framed Roger Rabbit? No question mark. I don't know why there's not a question mark on it. Because it is a question, isn't it? Or does it mean Doctor Who Framed Roger Rabbit? But it isn't. It's Judge Doom. But anyway, spoilers. So that's on Monday. I love this film. I love this film. I went to see it 3 times at the cinema, which is a lot for me. I don't do that often. And then next Friday's Appointment with Fear. Another 80s classic that we've been doing recently. Q, the Winged Serpent. Sometimes it's just called Q. When it came out of this country, it was Q, the Winged Serpent, or Winged. David Carradine and, I forgot his bloody name, Shaft. Richard Roundtree. David Carradine, Richard Roundtree, putting in terrible performances. Oh, Michael Moriarty as well. Ooh. The acting is awful in this film, but it's just worth it just for the monster. So there we go. So that's next week. Right. Done and dusted. We'll leave it there. So thanks, Win Grace. Thanks, Josh Temple. And Dredge. I can't pronounce your name. Dredge Tiger. I think that's all we had pop in. Joshua Kanapke didn't make it, although he did have a chat read out at the beginning that he left a few days ago. Right, so thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares, and wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the...